Hello, trading is closed on September 24th, 2019. Let's go over our calls. Yesterday we looked for a gap outside of the day's range. We got that. Looked for the pattern with the early low. This is it. You can tell by the counter trend drop in the middle of the day. We had a target, but as always, we say if it gapped smartly in the undesired direction, it was no longer predicted. That's not a prediction it wouldn't print, just not a prediction it would. Well, it printed and there was resistance right there. And I said if we gapped up, I'd forget about this and look for these targets to be hit. We came within 1.22 points of hitting this target. It's awfully close. It's not close enough for me, and so we have to call it a miss. Tomorrow's pattern has the early low as well. Here's what we got. You're all set to rally and gapped up and holding it through an important period. Then this news came out about the impeachment and this happened. We got a sell signal, but all we had to do to satisfy it was to trade under that low, which we did, so we don't have to go any lower. Well, here's what we said. We said there should be a big move. We wanted a gap outside of the day's range. We argued for a rally. We actually had a good rally right at the open. But that's not the story of the day. The question is Brown 2 over here, or are we still in it? And I can make this count work either way. Still possible this counts right, even though I don't think it is. If that's 1, you could say wave 2 ended today. You'd have to have a huge rally starting right from the open. Hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it will. But if it happens, here's your count. Then you can say I told you so. But you basically have to gap over this high, or at least trade over it early. In absence of news event, I don't think that's going to happen. At the present time, this looks like a more plausible count. Instead of this being A, B, C, this is A, and this whole thing is in A, B, C, and that's B. And if that's right, if these highs hold, then we could have a wave blue C comparable to this wave blue A. That's what I was looking for before. Changed my mind. Now I have to change it back again. When you have this consolidation, you can really make things work any way you want them to. And that's one of the reasons I take things a day at a time. So how about tomorrow? Wednesday's pattern has early low, doesn't mean you won't gap up. It's negative. Today's pattern didn't have the typical rally into the last hour. Unless we get that rally, we should see lower prices. But it's positive. We dropped all day, couldn't close under the day's low. Unless that happens, we should trade higher. So the odds favor a gap and prompt move outside the range. If it doesn't happen, we close, it'll change with the big move Thursday. Rarely, neither of those things happen. You can make a case for today's low holding, both based on that wave count I showed and the NASDAQ McClellan oscillator hit its lower Bollinger Band, big volume on the drops. But I'll tell you, I just can't find individual stocks I'm willing to buy. The odds favor gapping down even though futures are up. Let's take a look at this chart. We finally gave up the ghost on the number of stocks having favorable patterns, kept going higher, finally dropped. You can reverse this tomorrow by going over this high. It hasn't happened yet, and I think it's low odds. Here was a one-way stock if I ever saw one, from just about maybe a 125. Shopify went to over 400. In just a month, we dropped and we're now under 300. That, to me, isn't the way we go higher. Now, you can make a case for today's low holding. I don't think it's a good case. But here's a big drop on big volume. If we gap up tomorrow, you could say I told you so. But again, I think it's if you're going to have a gap outside the day's range, I think the path of least resistance to me looks to be down. So tomorrow we want a gap outside the range, pattern with the early low. I just can't find stocks I want to buy. And so I don't know how low we're going to go, but this could be wave blue C, as I showed you, which could be comparable in size to wave blue A. That's a pretty sizable drop. And all we need for confirmation is to gap under these lows. And gapping over this high kills the idea. And that's today's call.